Man, I tell you what, a lot of people rooting for the Raiders in that game, no one I included. Have you ever seen anything like that? I've never seen a game that it's been a while since we've seen something that provided that much late game drama, and there was so much on the line. George, that just had to be a blast to be a part of.
Man, listen, we gave the audience their money's worth is what we did. We provided them with the entertainment that they tuned in for, and it was nerve wracking for us because it went back and forth, back and forth. We were 14 points up, fourth
Yeah.
quarter, with about 5 minutes left, and we blew the lead. And they accomplished some things that they weren't supposed to. Fourth downs, what, 3, 4 times,
Yep.
and they
Yeah.
converted. And those are things you have to correct, and those are things you can't let happen.
Yeah, I mean, the last game of the season, like you said, you gave everybody their money's worth, but there's been a lot of speculation going down to that last time out by Brendan Staley, the Chargers head coach, and whether the Raiders were willing to run the clock out and just go for a tie, or after that timeout, they decided, okay, now we're going to go for it. Now we're going to go for the win, or they were going for it the whole time.
No, go for a tie. So what? We wind up having to meet them again? No, we want to knock them out. We want to win. We're not going for a tie. I think what happened, though, what really happened, the timeout they took allowed us to come together and decide, hey, let's go for it. If we get X number of yards on this down, then we'll make a decision. Instead, we got an abundance of yards. I think Jacobs ran for something like 10, 12 yards, put us in field goal range,
Yep.
and the rest is history. But if the coach from the Chargers hadn't taken the timeout, it may have gone into a tie.
Yeah, just talk about what this Raiders team's accomplished, George, since you guys came to Kansas City and that 48-9 game, 4 straight wins to close out the regular season. Derek Carr has just been tremendous. This is all with all the upheaval and all the things that have happened to get to 10-7. To get into the polls for the first time since 2016. This will be Derek Carr's first ever playoff game. What does that mean to this organization, George?
Oh, it means a lot, especially the way we did it to get to this point. We had to win 4 straight, and we had to beat a couple of pretty good teams. We rose to the occasion, and we did what we had to do. You look at this season, you talked about this season with the controversy we've had. Adversity, hey, sometimes breeds opportunity. And we had a lot of adversity that provided us with an opportunity to overcome it. And we did. And that's the mark of a good football team. And you look at the guys that we have that we put together for this unit. I mean, a lot of guys were thrown away. We traded for Perriman, Denzel, and what was Carolina didn't want him. We got him, all pro. We got Faison, same thing from San Diego. We got Casey Hayward from San Diego. Phylon, who played well up until he got hurt the other night. So, we're playing with guys that are stepping up and guys who were kind of like the team I played on, kind of like outcasts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And these kids have come together, and they're doing a pretty good job.
Just talk about kind of the Raiders stepping up the leadership from Rich Bisaccia, Derek Carr, Hunter Renfrow with the Henry Ruggs situation, him going out, all these guys stepping up. I know Derek Carr in 2016, the year Clint mentioned, you guys went to the playoffs. He gets injured late in that season, was having kind of an MVP career or season. And then Matt McGloin goes into the playoffs. You guys lose, but just talk about some of the leadership that you guys have seen going through this.
Yeah, we do have some veterans who are the nucleus of the team right now that have stepped up. Like you said, Derek Carr, and you look at Waller, Jacobs, Renfrow. I mean, we've had a number of guys who stepped up and displayed their leadership quality, which brought these other players together, the younger players especially. We are a very young football team when you look at our depth chart. And right now, the youngsters are coming through because of the leadership that we do have with the veteran players. And when you're in the locker room and you have guys who make sense, who are dedicated, who want to win, who are pros, it rubs off. And I can testify to that because I was in that type of locker room as a young player myself, and I know what it did for me. It made my game come to the point where I had to step up and be representative of the Raiders and play like a Raider. And that's what we're starting to get with these kids is they're playing like Raiders right now, and they're stepping up, and they're trying to make a statement. And, you have to give these guys a lot of praise and credit because of the adversity that they have come through. And you look at, I've been around football for 50 plus years, pro football for 50 plus years, and I've never seen a team go through what we have gone through. And I've never seen a team respond the way this team have to what they have gone through. It's just it's unbelievable that we're in the playoffs or anywhere close to the playoffs because we have had, you talk about adversity, we've had adversity. So if adversity creates opportunity, well, we deserve the opportunity that we have right now because we have definitely gone through major adversity as a football team.
Well, George, there's no rest for the wicked. You play an overtime game that comes down to the wire just to get into the playoffs Sunday night. And on to Saturday afternoon to Cincinnati, a team that's riding a white-hot quarterback and a absolutely stellar group of weapons there. We see Jamar Chase, what he was able to do to the Kansas City Chiefs a couple weeks ago. So going on the road to the Cincinnati Bengals. They haven't won a playoff game, George, since 1990. It's been 31 years, so there's a lot at stake here for both teams. For the Raiders, it's been since 2002. How do you see this matchup playing on Cincinnati? What do you like here, and how do you see this game going, my friend?
Well, it's you look at the records, then the teams will you say are pretty much equal, 10-7, 10-7, and what I expect from us is a great, solid defensive game. I'm a defensive guy, so if you can't score, you can't win. It's just that simple. If you can't put points on the board, you can't win. So I'm thinking that defensively, we're going to have to be solid against this team. Cincinnati, as you said, a pretty good football team. They handled Kansas City, and you look at the weapons that they have. I mean, they're loaded from top to bottom. The kid Chase is coming into his own. He is a monster, I think. Watching him on film, it's unbelievable how big this kid is, which is about 6'1", 200 pounds, and run as fast and elusive as he does. So he's going to be a problem for us. The running back they have will be a problem for us. And like you said, a quarterback will be a problem. So they have a three-headed monster that we have to definitely tame, and to play great defense in order to win, especially on the road. It's going to be cold, probably snowing. So, we're going to play in some elements that we have to block totally out and just play football.
Well, George, I mean, just give you a little word of advice here coming from a Chiefs fan. A couple weeks ago, we played the Bengals. They've got nice players. Joe Mixon, really nice running back. T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, nice receivers. But if you don't treat Jamar Chase like it's 1998 Minnesota Vikings, Randy Moss coming in there, it's going to be a long day, my friend. The Chiefs didn't do that. It was a long day for them. A little advice, double Jamar Chase.
We're taming. We'll play him. We'll play him for the skills he has. I mean, you got to recognize. I don't know that Kansas City recognized his skills. The way he ran routes on them and the defenses he came up blew over the top of. I don't know if they're really prepared for what they got. We saw what he did to Kansas City, and a few other teams. So we're going to prepare for that. I mean, we're not going to be sitting back waiting for him to make plays. We're not going to give him those up routes like Kansas City did. You know, it was like they weren't defensively prepared for this guy. And we're preparing because they weren't prepared. We see the mistakes that they made. It'll make us stronger as the defense. So, you know, that's what good teams do. You see what teams don't do, and you correct that and come out and play. And that's what we're going to do. Kansas City did us a favor. They exposed the kid. They made the kid recognizable for his skills. And we appreciate that because he's definitely a threat. The guy's a player. He's hard-nosed. I saw him catch a ball between 3 players and ran away from them. From get-go, just ran away from them. And that's pure speed that you have to respect, and you have to understand where they like to go to him, when they like to go to him, and what area of the field they're going to go to him. And we're preparing for that, you know.
Well, George, we'll see what happens on Saturday. You talked about the
What do
elements
you
in
mean we'll
Cincinnati.
see what happens? What do you think is going to happen?
Well, I was trying to say
What
that
do
I
you
know how
think?
much you love
Give
cold
me your
weather.
prediction. I want to put you on the spot.
George, it's too early in the week, man. I haven't even had my coffee yet. You want a prediction? Okay. You know this. You know we're cheering for the Raiders all the way. We got to get Chiefs Raiders in the AFC Championship game, and there's no reason we can't make that happen. How about that?
Hey, that sounds good. We would like another shot at the Chiefs.
That's right. And there's no reason why not. So, George, I do got to ask you because I happen to be in Las Vegas over New Year's, and we lost your former coach, John Madden, right before the new year. And I just want to get your thoughts on Coach Madden. You guys win a Super Bowl. John Madden really transcends the game of football from his broadcasting career, from his coaching career. George, just tell us what your thoughts were when you found out he passed, and kind of any stories you want to relay, or just your thoughts
Surprise.
on
My
really.
feelings, I was quite surprised. I knew he was sick, but I didn't know to
Wow.
what degree. And I hadn't talked to him for a while. John and I were pretty good friends. When I came into the league, John was an assistant coach. And when I came into Oakland, well, for the training camp in Santa Rosa, I flew into San Francisco, and John picked me and a guy by the name of Matt Leinart up and took us back to camp. But on the way, we kind of made some detours, and we got to be friends through conversation and the whole bit. He was not a head coach at that time. And my rookie season, he was instrumental in kind of keeping me going and alive. Country boy from Savannah, never been to California before, and he kept me entertained in the sense that we talked a lot. We had a common interest, which was boxing, and we used to tune in on Saturdays. They had boxing from Mexico. This was back in the day, and these were just fights, you know, that would come on Saturdays that we would call each other and pick a corner, the red corner or the blue corner or the black corner, whatever. And we would bet $5 minimum. And we did that for 3 years. And we had a lot of fun interacting that way. And like I said, he was not only my coach, he was a friend also.
Talk about what made John such a special coach. I know for a lot of people out there, especially some of the younger generation, they talk about him as a broadcaster. They talk about the Madden video game. When we hear them talk about great coaches, we hear the Don Shula's, the Bill Walsh's, the Bill Belichick's. What made John Madden such a great head coach?
He was a player's coach. John understood his players. Listen, like I said earlier, we had a group of guys who were cut from other teams and kind of thrown to the woodpile, you know. And when Al would pick them up, they would come in and perform. And John had to handle 53 guys of diverse personalities that any other coach, I'm pretty sure, would have gone up the wall with. But he managed that. He loved his players. The players loved him because of the fact that he displayed his love through his actions. And we bought into him. He was into us. And we were a commodity in the NFL. And when you look at John's approach to the game and his knowledge, his confidence, and his loyalty to his players, I mean, he had an easy job in a sense because he treated his players with respect. He didn't give us a bunch of rules for us to break. because we had a bunch of guys who would probably break rules. You know, you got a list of rules that makes it easy those rules to be broken because you got guys who are not going to go along. We had 3 rules, you know. Don't drink in the hotel. Don't drink in the bar, the hotels that we're staying in. Dress respectfully and play like hell on Sunday. And those were the rules we had. So we didn't have guys breaking those rules because when you think about it, those are basic rules that you kind of grow up with, common sense rules. And we responded to him. We loved him. He loved us. And what made him a great coach was his relationship with the team that he coached.
Wow. George, I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but you've been heavily featured in the new Peyton Manning series called Peyton's Places on ESPN Plus. He has an episode where he spends time with Lynn Swann, and basically for much of the episode, it is about painting the proverbial boogeyman as George Atkinson. He is the villain of this situation, and Peyton Manning's throwing his name out, and Lynn Swann's eyes are getting big, and they're showing these highlights of the things you did to Lynn. My question to you is, we've talked to you about Lynn Swann over the years, but have you and Lynn ever had a conversation? Have you guys ever made up? Are you guys in your advanced age become a little more mellowed out through the years?
I don't see him.
Never.
So, and I don't
have.
correspond with him. I've seen him since we retired both. It was hello and goodbye. That was it. And no, we haven't had conversation. So there's a feature on Manning about Lynn Swann and myself.
Yes, sir. It's on the season 2 of Peyton's Places. It's on ESPN Plus, where Peyton Manning travels around, and there's a very big segment about you in that episode, and Lynn talking about how he became a body catcher because he was able to secure the ball. When you catch it with your hands in traffic, it's too easy to get the ball dislodged. And they said the reason why that was is because George Atkinson was basically his boogeyman and out to get him. So,
man, come on. If I had nothing to do but concentrate on Lynn Swann, I couldn't play football. You got to be kidding me.
Well, you got to see this. You got to see this episode, George. It's great.
I'm not interested. I'm really not interested. I got other things. We got a playoff game coming up. I don't have time.
That's right.
Yeah, we'll take care of those pesky
It's all
schools for
good, man. You know, football and life has been good to me, and I have no animosities toward anyone. I have no regrets. I don't apologize for the way I play football, and life has been good to me and for me and to my kids and for my kids, and I'm blessed in a lot of ways, and I appreciate my blessings, and I don't have time to go back and relive 19 and. I mean, come on. If I have to go back to relive that, I'm really in bad shape. So, you know, I'm not now. My focus is on something altogether different. That's so far in my past until it's been erased so long ago I mean, come on. if I have to go back and focus on that, then I'm a loser. And I'm not a loser.
That's what made the old days so great. I mean, the rivalries and the bad blood back then. I mean, you guys weren't exchanging jerseys and signing them afterwards like they do now. Everybody's buddy.
No, different world back then.
Oh, yeah. That's the football I miss.
Different world. The football world, like they did the piece on Sam Huff.
Oh, yeah.
You ever seen that piece?
Yep.
The brutal world of Sam Huff, I think it was called.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Chuck
well, that tells the story right there. Yeah. So, you guys rooting for us this week?
George, you know we are. I'm cheering for the Raiders on Sunday night.
You know, I think deep down, you guys are really Raider fans.
We love you. You're the best. The respect is there, and you know what? It's the Raiders and Chiefs have only made the playoffs twice together since 1993. Man, this is a rarity.
Been that long, huh?
Only 2 times have the Chiefs and Raiders been in the playoffs at the same time in 27 years. So this is great. We're excited for it. And like I said, if it was up to us, Chiefs and Raiders AFC Championship game, George, you know you like barbecue. Come on back to Kansas City, man.
I know, man. That would be nice, wouldn't it?
See, so we're
Championship
all
game. Raiders
we're
and
all in the
Chiefs,
same
like
boat
old
here.
times.
If you're going to take two teams from the AFC West in the playoffs every year, I want to be the Chiefs and Raiders. I don't want Denver and the Chargers in there. So
You know what to say, Clint. That's for sure.
that's see.
Never did
Exactly.
I think I would grow up and start cheering for the Raiders, but George has been on with us since we started this back in 2012. He's just our favorite guest, best person.
Many moons ago.
Yes.
10 years.
Has it been that long?
10 years ago, but it's been, I think, 6 years since we saw you last. So we got to make up for that
I was
next
in
time.
touch with Noah, I think, for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. But that's
you
why we got to
fell
come
off by
back.
the wayside. I don't know. You took a vacation or something. But Noah and I were in touch.
I was in Vegas.
Oh, okay.
So how do you like Vegas? That's my favorite city in the world, man.
Surprisingly, I do. It's a nice town. I like the way it's laid out. Every community is pretty much self-contained. You have all the amenities that you need. You don't have to go outside your neighborhood. As long as you're away from the strip, you're in good shape.
That's for sure.
For sure.
Well, I thought it was great. I don't know if you've seen the All Madden piece that Fox Sports did, but I thought it was great before John did pass away that he got to sit down and hear how much he meant to everybody. And I think too often we leave that for after someone's gone. And so that's why every time we have you here, we just tell you, George, that we love you so much. I mean, you mean the world to us. You've just been so gracious with your time coming on over these, like we said, 10 years now. And we never thought that our favorite guest on the show would be a Raider, but it has. And here we are in 2021 and moving to 2022. I'm rooting for the Raiders to win playoff games. It's a crazy world, but we love you so much, George. You've turned us into
Time heals all
Raiders
wounds,
fans.
my friend.
That's right. That's right.
Exactly.
It's very special. It's been great. And I tell you,
hey man, I appreciate you guys too. You've been more than grand to me, and I appreciate that and got much love for you.
Well, I know how much you love cold weather.
Hopefully you continue with your success, man.
Thank you, George. We actually just got credentialed for the Super Bowl, so we're going to be in Los Angeles for the Super Bowl. It's taken us 10 years. We finally achieved that. We'll be there. And hopefully either the Chiefs or Raiders are there, or I don't know what we're going to do. And I know how much you love cold weather. So what are you going to do in Cincinnati this weekend to stay warm, my friend?
Stay in my room. Stay in my room. I'm not going anywhere but to the dining room, to meeting room, and to the football field.
Hey, that sounds good, my friend. Well, George, thank you so much. We're so excited for what the Raiders have done just for you and to see where the team has come. I like teams that battle adversity. I like teams that stand up in the face of things that are getting you down. This is great for the NFL and it's great for sports. So let's see what happens. Let's let this thing play out. It's playoff football. We're ready for it.
As I said, adversity creates opportunities.
You bet.
Yep. Hey guys,
thank you so much.
Talk to you soon, and stay tuned.